Ever sent money online and wondered, is it really gone? Like, for good? Especially with something as cutting edge and, let's be honest, sometimes a little mysterious as Bitcoin? You hit send on Kraken, that digital vault of your crypto, and then, you wait. But wait for what, exactly? How long does it take for those digital coins to solidify, to become undeniably yours, or undeniably sent? We're diving deep into the world of Bitcoin confirmations, specifically on Kraken, and unraveling the mystery behind those seemingly endless waiting times. Think about it. In the traditional banking world, a transaction is often instant. You swipe your card, and boom, the money's gone. But Bitcoin? It's a whole different beast. It's decentralized, spread across a network of computers, and relies on a system of confirmations to ensure its security. Imagine a vast, global ledger, a digital record book that everyone can see. Every time a Bitcoin transaction happens, it's like writing a new entry in this book. But to make sure that entry is legit, that it can't be erased or altered, it needs to be confirmed. Now, why does this matter to you, the Kraken user? Well, when you're buying, selling, or withdrawing Bitcoin, you're interacting with this very ledger. You're waiting for those confirmations to pile up, to signal that your transaction is locked in, secure, and irreversible. And Kraken, like any reputable exchange, has its own rules about how many confirmations it requires before considering a transaction complete. Let's break down the Bitcoin confirmation process itself. When a transaction is initiated, it's bundled together with other transactions into a block. Miners, the guardians of the Bitcoin network, compete to solve complex mathematical problems to add this block to the blockchain, the ever-growing chain of these blocks. When a miner succeeds, they broadcast the new block to the network, and it's added to the chain. This is one confirmation. Each subsequent block added to the chain on top of your transactions block is another confirmation. The more confirmations, the harder it is to reverse or tamper with the transaction. It's like stacking layers of concrete, the more layers, the stronger the foundation. So, back to our original question, how many confirmations does Kraken require? Well, there's no single, universally fixed number. It varies depending on the type of transaction, deposits, withdrawals, and even the specific security measures Kraken has in place at any given time. However, a common range you'll encounter for Bitcoin deposits on Kraken is between 2 and 6 confirmations. Why the range? Security is paramount. Kraken needs to balance speed with the need to protect its users from potential fraud or double spending attacks. Double spending is a nightmare scenario where someone tries to spend the same Bitcoin twice. The more confirmations, the lower the risk of this happening. Let's say you're depositing Bitcoin into your Kraken account. After your transaction is broadcast to the network, you'll see it as pending on your Kraken account. This means it's waiting for those confirmations. As each block is added to the blockchain, the number of confirmations increases. Once it reaches Kraken's required threshold, your deposit will be credited to your account. But what about withdrawals? Similar principles apply, but the number of confirmations might be slightly different. Kraken wants to ensure that withdrawals are secure and irreversible, so they might require a higher number of confirmations for these transactions. Now, here's where things get interesting. Bitcoin's block time, the average time it takes to add a new block to the blockchain, is roughly 10 minutes. This means that, theoretically, it could take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour for your deposit to be confirmed if Kraken requires 2 to 6 confirmations. However, block times aren't always consistent. Sometimes, blocks are found faster, sometimes, they take longer. Network congestion can also play a role, slowing down the confirmation process. During periods of high activity, the network can become overloaded, leading to longer wait times. This variability can be frustrating for users. You just want your Bitcoin to show up, and the waiting game can feel like an eternity. But remember, this delay is a necessary trade-off for the security and immutability of the Bitcoin network. So, how can you track your confirmations? Kraken provides tools within its platform to monitor the progress of your transactions. You can see the number of confirmations and get an estimated time for completion. You can also use blockchain explorers, websites that allow you to view the Bitcoin blockchain in real time, to track your transactions' progress. These explorers provide detailed information about your transaction, including the number of confirmations and the blocks it's included in. Here's a crucial point: always double-check the address you're sending Bitcoin to. Mistakes in addresses are irreversible. Once those confirmations pile up, it's virtually impossible to recover your funds if you sent them to the wrong address. This is a fundamental aspect of Bitcoin security. Once a transaction is confirmed, it's set in stone. Furthermore, fees are important. Transaction fees incentivize miners to include your transaction in a block. Higher fees generally result in faster confirmations, as miners prioritize transactions with higher fees. If you're in a hurry, you might consider paying a slightly higher fee to expedite the process. Let's address some common misconceptions. Some people believe that once a transaction is broadcast to the network, it's instantly confirmed. This is simply not true. Confirmations are a crucial part of the process, and they take time. Others believe that Kraken controls the confirmation process. While Kraken sets the required number of confirmations, they don't control the Bitcoin network itself. The network is decentralized, and the confirmation process is determined by the miners. It's also important to note that Kraken-specific policies can change. They may adjust the required number of confirmations based on network conditions, security concerns, or regulatory requirements. Always refer to Kraken's official documentation for the most up-to-date information. In summary, the number of Bitcoin confirmations required on Kraken for deposits and withdrawals varies, typically between 2 to 6, but could be higher depending on the circumstances. This process is essential for security and immutability. Block times, network congestion, and transaction fees all influence the confirmation process. Kraken provides tools to track your transactions, and blockchain explorers offer detailed information about the blockchain. Always double-check addresses and understand the risks involved. Understanding Bitcoin confirmations is crucial for navigating the world of cryptocurrency. It's a fundamental aspect of Bitcoin security and a key factor in ensuring the integrity of your transactions. While the waiting game can be frustrating, it's a necessary trade-off for the benefits of a decentralized and secure digital currency. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.